Hey everybody, hanging out in the shop tonight where it's warm. It was 77 degrees here yesterday, it's 25 tonight. So we're hanging out in here in the shop where we got some heat. We've been getting lots of posts about people wanting to see how everything inside the car functions. So I'm gonna crawl in the car and sit down and kind of show you step by step what everything does and how we would go through a staging process and pulling the car up to the starting line. First things first, we would put on all these safety harnesses, which I'm not going to do. One there, one here, one here, one here. Get the steering wheel on. This switch here powers up the whole car where I can kill the power inside. I don't know how many times I've been sitting in the car and had my crew members walk off and not turn my power on the back of the car. So we went with this system because it can be turned on or off here or on the back of the car. This is the air bottle. Turn this air bottle on. This air bottle runs the shifter, makes the car shift. Once you turn loose of the tranny brake, it makes the 1-2 shift for me. They run the parachutes. So when I pull the chutes, it sends air to the chutes and deploys them. And it runs the boost controller for the turbos. So we get, I don't know, about 20, 25 passes on one of these bottles and then we change it. I think they'll do more than that, but we just always change them to be safe. This deal right here, that's called a VPS from Davis Technologies, Shannon Davis. Everybody's heard of the profiler. That little gadget right there, if I'm making a hit on the street, will basically tell me really close to what I did on the street. It'll give me a 60-foot time, a 3:30 time, 8th mile time. So this is actually the unit right here that reads it all, and that's the controller for it. These deals right here on the transmission, this is adjustability where I can change my converter charge pressure with one, and I can change the main transmission pressure with the other one. So converter charge pressure, I can make the converter tighter or looser right here. I think that's the right one. It's got sensors on it. This one reads converter charge pressure. That one reads line pressure. Pretty much everything we need to know is right here on this. This one is the fuel prime system. There's a small electric fuel pump on this thing that will prime up the fuel pressure so that the engine will start and then the mechanical pump takes over. Parking lights, headlights and parking lights. This is ACC. This one actually doesn't work anymore. It's for boost arm, but our boost controller is tied into the fuel tech now, so it does all of that. This is our trans brake button. This is our line lock. This is our bump. And this is a scramble button. We can program the fuel tech like if to add another 5 pounds of air or 10 pounds of air, basically 5 or 10 pounds of boost, whatever we want on here. So if somebody's out running this, it's just like grabbing if you had nitrous, it'd be like grabbing another kit. So if we would pull into the starting line, we would start pulling up there as soon as I would get to where I'm going to do my burnout or water box, pimp juice, whatever. I'll click the car up into second gear. I start my burnouts in second gear. Pump the brakes up, get some good brake pressure, hit the line lock. This car, about half throttle, all I got to give it to start spinning the tires. You'll notice a lot of them guys pull up there and they spool their cars up and this and that to do a burnout. I've never had to do that. This car's got plenty of power. So anyway, I would be on my line lock, give it some fuel, start the burnout, let off the line lock, let it start rolling, and normally at this point I just manually shift it into high gear and drag my burnout out. And Brandon will come around front and he'll back me up, hit the trans brake button to back up. He backs me up so far from the starting line, gets me straight. So at that point, I'll pull up close to the starting line, then I'll hit the trans brake, hold it, and floor the car, and let it start building boost. And when I hear it start popping and banging out the exhaust, I know it's on the two-step. Then I bump in till the starter stops me. At that point, I'm sitting there on the tranny brake, waiting on the flashlight, foot on the floor, light comes on, bam, let go. Car does its thing, it shifts. You're driving this crazy thing down through there trying to keep it going straight, and then you reach up and hit the parachute about 100 foot before the starting line. Throw it in neutral, kill it, pull over, get out, pick your parachutes up, put them in, fire it up, turn it around, and drive it back. Not a whole lot to it. It's not rocket scientist, but in the heat of the moment, when you're sitting there against Big Chief or Ryan or Kai Kelly or anybody, your adrenaline's flowing, your nerves are flowing. It's real easy to forget something. This is actually a ear set for a helmet that I have that has radio in it, so Brandon can talk to me, but he won't wear the radio or the headset to talk to me, so it just sits there. It's never been used since we got it. Here's my fire system. If shit gets bad and catches on fire, I pull that out, and as soon as this thing is going under 20 mile an hour, I'm rolling out of it. These are vents for the valve covers, crankcase vents. They run to a tank in the trunk, so that if you hurt the motor, and say the tank was to fill up with oil, at least it would be behind the tires. It wouldn't be something you would run over. So this is my next gen. I wear this. It goes under the harness, like on each side. This goes over this. This one comes over this. When you snap it in, it locks it in, and then these hook onto your helmet. Keep your head from doing any stupid shit. There's just enough room in this car. See, I'm 6'4", but it fits me pretty well. Like I said, it's not a whole lot to it, but it can be if you happen to let your nerves get you rattled, or if the car's giving you fits and you can't figure out what the hell's wrong with it, then all that can get hectic. This car actually has, here's the transmission hook. I know a lot of you have seen the video where you can just slide them back. I can pop this dash off. It's transmission setting on a hook. I can pull the bolts, slide it back, change the converter in 10 minutes by myself. No help. These are the pieces you've seen inside that run back to the back. Vent the whole motor, basically, the crankcase. This is a Proline 481X. It is a dry sump, dual Visner throttle bodies. This is the small electric fuel pump I was showing you that comes on and primes it. It primes up the fuel system before we start it. These are travel sensors. They tell you what the front end's doing. I got one on the rear, on the right rear, so we can monitor all that on the data logger. So we come back from making a pass. The first thing we do is we unhook both of these. We hook a vacuum cleaner up to one side, leave that side open. It pulls fresh air through the motor to help cool it down. We set a fan here blowing on the motor, and we set a fan here blowing on the motor. And it usually takes about 15 minutes to get everything cooled down. We put a battery charger on it, and then we've got a transmission cooler. The transmission cooler plugs in here. It pulls air out of the transmission fluid out of the pan, pumps it back into the transmission, runs through a cooler and cools it down. So there's no water in anything, no transmission cooler. So we do all that after we make a pass. It's not hard. You got to have crew people. Here's what you got to think about. Not only does Brandon have to tune this when we're filming, he's got to come in and put a laptop on it and figure out what it did and what changes he wants to make. He has to cool the motor down, hook the tranny cooler up, hook the vacuum cleaner up, basically drain any, there's an oil can, catch can up there. There's an oil catch can under the back. He has to drain both of them. So he has a lot on his plate in between races. He basically takes care of the whole car. Because if we're filming, I step out, I'm usually got cameras in my face, I'm having to film. Or if we're at No Prep Kings, we usually have a t-shirt booth set up. So I got 100 people standing over there that want autographs, so I have to go take pictures, sign autographs. So Brendan takes care of the whole car. Basically, all I do is crawl in it and drive it and make a pass, except for when we're at home. At that point, he's done with it. Any repairs, 90% of them I do, unless it's something major like pulling a tranny or motor, he normally helps me, but all the little stuff that we talk about that we want to try or do something different, I normally do all that myself. That's pretty much this car. Woo-hoo-hoo. There it is, John Sisney.
What are you doing?
Okay, we're this Fuel Tech has a practice tree game on the dash, so if you need to work on your reaction times or something, sitting in the staging lanes or just wanting to goof off or let kids get in here and play, you can get in here and actually get on the trans brake, bump the car in, and see your reaction times. As you see, we just got a .020. Not bad for an old man. I mean, it ain't no .008 or nothing, but what's that? The second time I've released it, and I ain't been in the car in 6 months. See, put it back on there and on the trans brake, bumping in. Go 23. Pretty cool little feature. I thought y'all might like to see. Hey, that's pretty good for somebody who ain't been in the car in 6 months. Boy, these boys are in trouble this year. This old man still got it. You see Brandon the other night? What did he get? A 050? I thought he was doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah, 020, 023. The old man still got it. It's hard to catch somebody in 660 feet if they can get the jump on you. Of course, I could do like Kai Kelly last night and just jump every light and chase his race bullshit. Oh, what's up with that, Kai Kelly? Why you chase his racing? I'm gonna call Kai Kelly and see what the hell.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging
He hit
system.
the ignore on me, didn't he?
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Is this King Kai Kelly? King Kai Kelly, are you around there anywhere? I'm gonna call him back and say, if you don't call me back, everybody's fixing to have your phone number. I'm videoing this. Is this King Kai?
As soon as I answered, my damn phone died a while ago.
Oh yeah? Yeah, it went to voicemail and we were YouTubing and man, it blurted your phone number out and I'm like, oh shit.
What you been up to?
And nothing. Man, it was 77 degrees here yesterday and it's 25 right now.
It's spring down here. We don't have to worry about that shit no more.
Yeah, it's spring here too till today. It'll be spring again this weekend and then it'll be winter Monday and hell, I'm trying to get my car out and test it. I got 3 days of rain coming and 25 degrees. It was like, I don't know, 40 for a high today. It's cold as shit.
Come down to New Orleans. The pad's open 24/7.
Yeah. Well, I need to get some hits and make sure it's going to go straight before I dick around at the pad.
No, I mean, we can just go out there during the day and nobody will know.
Is that cops jack with you over there anymore?
They'll pull up until you leave. And you can leave for about 30 minutes and come back.
Right. Oh, I miss racing at the pad then, but that was fun.
Yeah. It's only asphalt road. It looks like concrete.
Yeah, this is true.